Ben Gibson, head groundsman at Sussex. Great to catch up with you. Obviously, no pre-season tour for the squad this year, which I guess has meant that you've been extra busy. Just tell us about what you've been putting in place.
Yeah, so our February's been a bit different this year. We've had a marquee put up at the beginning of February. 1st of Feb was the first day that we got in there with our mowers and stuff. It's been different. It's been an exciting little challenge actually, because February's normally that month that you start gearing up for the season, but you're still kind of just slowly kind of getting everything into place, and then March is your month that's all go. Whereas this has just gone back a bit. So we've been very busy in February, but we got the marquee up, and their first training session was in there yesterday, and it was I've heard positive things how it went. So no, it's been a success.
And also, it's the first time, certainly since you've been working at Sussex, I think ever, that there's been one of these heated marquees for the players to train in. What challenges has that brought? And just tell us how it all works.
So basically, it's the first time Sussex have done it. A lot of other grounds have been doing it for a few years. So I've been kind of speaking to a few people of how they've worked there, and Andy, the old head groundsman here, was a lot to do with the one at Loughborough for the England guys. So I've been able to like pick his brains with it and stuff. But it's always different at a different site. So we're a lot milder down here, we would say, but it's been quite a wet winter again. So it was hard to get the surfaces dry. And I think that the weather that we've had the last week has really helped us out. I think if we had the grey and miserable days that we had, from as long as I remember now over winter, we didn't have many dry, sunny days. So with that, the sun that we've had the last week or so has really helped us out. So inside the marquees, we've got two industrial size like heaters, diesel heaters that run, and a couple of dehumidifiers. And that just keeps the heat up. I mean, when the sun's out, it really ramps up in temperature. I mean, on Sunday, we had a few of the doors shut. And before we knew it, we looked at the thermometer that we got, and it was 35 degrees in there. So we quickly all opened up the doors and letting air out and stuff, because it can really get hot in there. And a few of the players yesterday were saying that it just doesn't feel like it is, because the humidity is so high in there. It feels weird, and you can actually feel the humidity in there. So that's what the dehumidifiers are for. So they just get rid of it all. But yeah, it's been quite an exciting challenge. Like I said, I was a bit worried a couple of weeks ago, because they do just take that a little bit longer to dry out in there because of the humidity. But
And what
still
about
learning.
and what about maintaining the strips in there? Is that different to doing it outside?
Not really. So we just treated it as one big block of wickets. So you do your pre-season rolling as you'd usually do, and obviously we've only got a certain amount of pitches in there, so we have to look after them quite well, and you have to kind of get them all at a certain level, and then just drop off on a couple of them and then you go hard on the ones that you're using first. So it's just all about, to be honest, there's a lot of learning still going on, and we're taking it day by day and seeing how the surface is holding up. The moisture that's in the air, the humidity does help hold the surface a little bit more. So every morning you get to roll that in a bit more. And like Andy says at Loughborough, they seem to last longer having that moisture in the air than they would in the height of summer, say. So it's the second day. They still look good. A few little indents in the surface, but nothing you wouldn't expect in March. So it's been good.
And then otherwise, under a month now till the pre-season friendlies. How's the rest of your preparation going out in the middle?
Yeah, the square's in really good nick. Like I said, the weather we've had the last week has been great, and we've had the heavy roller on since Friday. So it's been on for. We'll probably do it until this weekend, and then start just focusing on our match pitches. this weather won't last for forever, so we need to make use of it while we've got it. The outfield, we've got a few areas that we've had to seed. So we've got germination sheets all over the outfield. Got seed down last Tuesday. We're actually out there watering it now because it just hasn't rained. So it goes from one extreme to the other, and groundsmen are never happy with the weather. So
I guess that's a bit of a contrast from a couple of seasons ago where there was so much rain that you couldn't even get any grass to grow. It must be.
Oh no, it's always, there's always some negative with the weather, but you can't complain with the weather we've had the last week or so. It's just like I say, it's just about doing things when it's ready, making use of the weather when we've got it, and not pull your hair out too much when you haven't. So no, it's been a good week.
There's that cliche that preparing wickets isn't a science; it's an art. So, as the new artist in residence, can spectators expect any sort of changes to the characteristics of the Hove wicket, or is it a bit too early in your tenure to be making big changes?
Yeah, it's probably way too early for that. I mean, I've worked under Andy for the whole 10 years that I was here, so it's pretty stuck in my brain. Obviously, I've got my few little ideas how we prepare pitches, but it's more of the same. Got a good relationship with the coaches, so we speak regularly on throughout the year what they want, what we want, and it's good.
And what are those things? What are the characteristics you're looking to get out of the wicket?
I think something for bat and ball. We obviously don't want them turning square, and we don't want them zipping all over the place. So it's just getting a good pitch, a good cricket wicket, and I think that's what we want as groundsmen want to do as well. So no, it's good, and hopefully we can make that happen.
And then finally, obviously everyone's lives been and the way they work been hugely impacted by this pandemic. But for you and your team, what have been the specific challenges that lockdowns and the pandemic have brought you?
Yeah, so it's been challenging for everyone. Obviously, early last year it was a bit unknown what was actually going to happen with the season, and then suddenly we got a cricket season to prepare for. So the club has been really supportive for my department, and we got back pretty quick, got back into the swing of things. It's been challenging, even for I've worked throughout the pandemic, and it's still been challenging for us, for me and my deputy Chris. It's trying to manage. We're so used to how a normal season goes, and to have little things get in the way of that. I mean, we can't all have break at the same time, so you haven't got that socialising, because we've only got a small little break room. So we stagger our breaks, stagger our start times and finishes, so we're not all in the same area. It's just little things that just are a bit different, but the guys have been really good. The guys that were furloughed have all come back raring to go for the new season, and I'm really looking forward to it.
And I guess having had your first year as head groundsman behind closed doors, you'll be looking forward to showing off your handiwork to crowds when they get back in.
Yeah, I was quite happy for last year that it was all behind closed doors and just you media guys that were putting out the story of the game. But no, I'm looking forward to fans being back, especially for them T20 nights. That I think they're the best nights of the job, best days of the job. So looking forward to getting fans back. That's for sure.
Great to speak to you, Ben.
Cheers, Sam.